waterfall model and a spiral model of software development. These models are high-level recommendations of how a software project should be planned and executed. We also took a look at some of the experiences that Infosys projects have had in each of these stages. Be aware though that these life cycle models may not be appropriate for all or even most of the kind of projects that Infosys does today or may do in future. Nevertheless, these models form a convenient reference point for thinking about macro processes.
How much time does a typical Infosys project spend on each of the activities in the waterfall model?
We usually talk in terms of the distribution of effort rather than time. You can measure effort in person days or person months. If you look at Infosys projects, you'll find that we spend about 1/4 of total effort on the first 3 stages, systems engineering through design. For the purpose of measuring effort distribution, we don't normally make a sharp distinction between the first 2 stages, that is systems engineering and requirements analysis. And these 2 stages taken together would constitute about 5 to 10% of total effort. Coding, not surprisingly, takes up the major chunk, about 1/3. Testing in its various forms would take up nearly 1/5. The remainder of the effort goes into activities like project management, configuration management, and training.
You mentioned that a real project has to revisit its requirement repeatedly in a life cycle. Now, is it because the requirements have not been understood well?
Well, the subtle point is this. Sometimes it is we who haven't understood requirements well, and sometimes it's even the customer who hasn't understood requirements well. When we goof up on a requirement, it's usually because we haven't paid enough attention to detail during the requirements analysis phase. Now, to say that the customer goofs up on a requirement is not quite right. What usually happens here is that the customer gets new ideas as we develop the software for him, which means that requirements actually evolve as the project progresses. It might sound like a joke, but the earliest point at which the vendor and the customer both more or less agree on requirements is really the time of installation of the software product.
With tools like Visual Basic, is it not a good idea to get down to building something from day one rather than spending time on documenting requirements, creating design blueprints, and so on?
Visual Basic is a great development tool. According to the methodologist Grady Booch, it allows bad programmers to develop badly designed applications faster than ever before. The point is this: if I had a set of requirements which was more or less unchanging, it didn't matter, or it wouldn't matter how I designed the application, provided it satisfied requirements and provided I delivered it on schedule. Now, in the real world, requirements don't quite behave this way. Requirements evolve as the project progresses. So I need to document requirements in order to avoid expensive rework. And I need to invest enough effort in designing a flexible modular system so that it can adapt to changing requirements.